With us right now, it's Michael Doyle. Michael, you are a brand champion and you are the CEO of Brand Iron. You're found on the web at brandiron.net. Michael, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, so we're in the new year. 2023 is upon us. And one thing I saw on your social media I'm excited to talk about is just, latest trends and what's going on in graphic design, what's going on in branding. And of course, with Brand Iron, as a branding expert, this is an area that you're probably watching a lot more closely than many of us.
Yeah, no worries. So thank you so much again. We see a couple of things that is happening this coming year. Number one is it's a flashback almost to the 80s, where you see kind of bright colors, not only classic designs, but kind of big and bold. And so it's like kind of my childhood coming back again in design coming forward in 2023. And so we see a lot of that coming forward. We also see another thing where, companies aren't just building brands. They want to make sure that they're building a sales channel. And how can they build a strategy where they can quantify their investment and results? And so we see that as a huge driver this coming 2023. Especially with the uncertainty in the economy, everybody wants to know if they're going to spend capital. They've got to make sure that they know that it's going to be wisely spent and they can expect a return. And so they want to know what the return on that investment is going to look like. So if you've got to have a well-designed, what we call marketing sales process that leads into specific sales funnels on your website, on an omni-channel approach where all these different mediums build on one another, and then you have a way to quantify that traffic and push them through the sales funnel where you can track the results. We see that as a huge interest going forward. It's not just necessarily about building brands, which when you've got a thriving economy and a big, robust budget, you've got now everybody wants to really make sure that what they're spending is they're going to be able to quantify and track and see results.
Yeah, well, and I think that's sometimes, obviously, sometimes when you're working with someone who is a brand specialist, they're more on the artistic side, right? And so it's really nice when you can work with a brand strategist who can kind of both play the right brain and the left brain side of things, because obviously if we're going to make investments into, even something as simple as adjusting our logo or, cover shot, our headshots. It's pretty valuable to test all that stuff along the way and make sure, that was smart to do that.
Absolutely. And, I'm a little different because I believe that great brands drive great outcomes. So it's not just having a great message or a great persona or a great image or a great website or logo. Great brands drive engagement, drive people to action, and they drive desired outcomes, whether it be driving more sales, whether it be driving expansion, whether it be driving brand recognition. You've got to be able to quantify and track, and that's what great brands have the ability to do, is track and measure results. So my opinion in that world is quite a bit different than a lot of other brand strategists. It's more about the brand, the look, the feel. How does it make you, does it give you warm and fuzzies? It makes me super excited when brands can give you quantifiable outcomes that you're trying to help reach towards your bigger picture business goals and objectives. And that's when we know we're doing a really good job from a brand perspective, when we're producing desired outcomes.
Yeah. So as a company, Brand Iron, it looks like you work with companies in tech, finance, private equity, real estate, outdoor consumer, hospitality, manufacturing, services, et cetera. How did you get your start, and how did Brand Iron become a thing?
Well, I had a previous career to Brand Iron, so I actually sold my previous advertising marketing agency during the dot-com days and reported to Wall Street for a couple of years. And so that's kind of how my opinion about brands and outcomes completely changed, because when you report to Wall Street and you have committed capital, they want specific outcomes. And so when I left that firm, went back on my own 20 years ago now, and started Brand Iron, it was like, how can we build brands, and how can we make brands that are that are quantifiable and trackable and produce desired outcomes? So it's really about how can we produce results that we are quantifiable, trackable, and so we can produce an ROI that really makes a difference.
Yeah. And so in terms of working with a brand special, can you kind of, let's say someone that might be a little bit newer, there might be at the very, very early stages of their company. Can you kind of help folks understand what's the difference between hiring a marketer, a brand strategist, a web design person? Like, what are the different players involved here, and
Sure.
Why might we need all three? Why might we prioritize one over the other?
Yeah. Well, there's a bunch. I mean, right now, not only is there branding, there's marketing, there's web specialists, there's social media specialists, there's digital marketing specialists. They all kind of go under the marketing purview, if you will. And then under that marketing purview, you have people that work on brands, and that could be graphic artists from that perspective, a creative perspective, or you can have strategists like brand strategists that look at brands as not only an image, but also a logo, but also something that you view for the content and the text. And then when you put all the different components together, how does it compel people to take action? And then I'm a little bit unique where I believe brands are all about producing quantifiable results, which is very different than what you see out there. You also see that there's, that's the branding / when you're setting up a company or revising your company's image or revising your company position in the marketplace. So that goes all in the brand purview. Marketing kind of is how do you take that brand to market? And there's a lot of people with a lot of different slants. You've got, designers that say, oh, I'll help you with your marketing, but it's very much from a look and a feel perspective. You have social media especially say, oh, I'll help you drive results, but it's also about likes or follows, and those are great and they really help get your message out. But can you tie that to your website or your sales channel that produces results? You've also got digital marketers where they worry about Google AdWords or dissemination of original content. And so do they care about that, or do they care or about clicks, or do they care about driving traffic into a sales channel and then be able to track and measure and all the way to conversion in a conversion into a sale? And there's all these different subcategories along from marketing to branding, design to social to digital, and I'm sure I'm missing a ton, right? There's email marketing as well too, right? And so you need to figure out what are you really interested in. And I always say is start with the end in mind. If you know what you're trying to get at the end, is it driving revenue? Is it driving conversions? Is it driving likes? Is it promotion, building your brand? If you know what the end is in mind that you're trying to get accomplished, it'll help guide you in being able to select who and what type of individual or what type of company you want to work with.
Yeah. And as a company now, Brand Iron obviously worked with a number of really good companies. How do you grow and attract new clients today?
So that's a great question. We kind of treat ourselves as a client, right? Brand Iron is one of the clients we work on. And so we have to know who our targets are. We have to know what are the most effective mediums or channels to reach them. We developed specific products. Like I do a lot of speaking. I wrote, but didn't ever publish a book a couple of years ago called 7 Secrets of Brand Champion. So we market that. We market caprysdex.com. We market omni-channel digital approach to filling up your sales funnel. So we package specific products, if you will, and we package those and we put them into a sales channel or sales funnel and landing pages on the website. And we can track and measure which of these specific products are gaining results and which ones are resonating and which ones are we able to track and measure a tangible ROI and see what's working and what's not working. So we do all the different things that we tell all of our clients to do, which is develop, a specific strategy, develop and package it, figure out who the target's going to buy it are and what the most effective mediums are, how you can drive those into a sales funnel, how you're going to track and measure the conversions, and then be able to quantify a tangible ROI. I know that's a lot, but
no, it's all good. Your website, brandiron.net, and thinking about the content that you produce and how you engage with people. Someone's listening to our conversation right now, and they're like, "Okay, it sounds like Michael knows what he's talking about. Like, what are some ways, kind of next steps that people might engage with you, or they can kind of get to know your work and learn a little bit more about your expertise?"
Yeah, they could go to Brandiron, and we have a downloadable, what we call capabilities deck, where you can find out about our process, find about specific case studies. So you can go there. We also have another product, capraisedeck.com, where you can go to that sales channel or that landing page.
What was that again?
Capraisedeck.com.
Capraisedeck.com?
Yep. Uh-huh. And we have a capabilities deck and show you different examples of different decks we've done. As well as show you case studies. We've helped clients raise over now it's out over $5 billion of capital over the years, and show you very specific examples of the work we've done, but also the process we take everybody through, and then all the way to a finalized product. And then even coaching how to pitch it and where to go and build relationships to raise capital as well too.
Yeah. Why? So when you're thinking about doing a deck with a client, what do you typically see in terms of clients who say, or potential clients who go, "Yeah, we've worked on our deck," and then you look at it and you go, "Oh boy." Like, what kind of stuff do you normally see that you're like, "Yeah, we should probably chat"?
Like last week, I saw a real estate investment company that sent me a 70-page deck. Okay, perfect example. All right.
Yeah, because investors are absolutely going to pour over all 70 pages.
And you cannot believe, Josh, how much content was in that 70 pages. I mean, it was like 5-point text on 70 slides. I mean, it would take me a week to read through that thing, right? We see that all the time. And that's one of the biggest mistakes we see is that you got way too much content, and you got maybe way too many slides, and you don't have it down into a nice, what we call clear and concise core message, where it's, if you think about it this way, if you've got a half an hour to an hour presentation, you want to have where you can communicate your message in the first. You've got to be able to tell what you do in the first 5 minutes. You've got to grab their attention, suck them in, engage them, and compel them to ask questions, right? If you don't do that, you're sunk. And what we try to tell people is you've got to be able to tell your message, whole message, not just the teaser in the first 5 minutes. You've got to be able to tell your whole message in the first 15 to 20 minutes. And you really want to have enough content where you've got 20 minutes and the rest of it should be conversation, right? You're getting them super excited. You're getting them to ask a bunch of questions. You're getting them really lathered up and really excited about the opportunity where they want to find out more and they want to potentially invest with you because you made it so compelling that they're really bought in. And so we tell people all the time, you've got to have that core message. That's the first 5 minutes of the first couple of slides, got to really draw them in. And then you got to have the rest of the, let's say that's 3, 4, 5 slides. You want to have a total presentation, let's say 20 to 24 slides. So you've got 15 to 20 minutes worth of content. You've got questions in there. You've got thought-provoking ideas or new concepts or new ideas that really are going to compel them to ask questions and find out more, so that you can take that 15 to 20 minutes engaging them and turn that into the full 45 minutes or an hour conversation, get them excited to the point where they want to find out more and they're really excited about potentially investing within your company.
Yeah, I really agree with that principle of, honoring where the level of where the relationship is. Like, imagine going on a first date and just being a motor mouth for 2.5 hours straight.
Yeah.
not really
exactly.
Work out real well.
But no, and here's a good example is we could take we can take that first, we could take the presentation, that 70 slide deck, we could take it down to 20 slides, get them bought in. If you want to put the other 50 slides in the appendix and have all the ammunition you need for any question that they will ask you under the sun, knock yourselves out. But get that core message down to, 15, 20, 25 slides. Make sure you're there. You've got them sucked in. And then have the other information that you think they may ask, and it's what we call anticipate the questions. If you can anticipate the questions, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions that they're going to ask, you could have all that information in the appendix, and be prepared for whatever comes your way, but make sure you've got a rock solid, clear and concise message that sucks them in.
Yeah. Michael Doyle, your website, brandiron.net. Thank you so much for this conversation. Anything else that people should do? Someone that wants to reach out and connect with you, where should they go and what should they do?
They can either take a look at brandiron.net. They can take a look at capraisdeck.com. They can reach out to me on LinkedIn at Michael S. Doyle. I'm available, happy to have a conversation about what you're doing, what's working, what's not. Happy to take a look at a deck and give you some thought or advice on that as well, too. I'm happy to help out in whatever way I can.
Awesome. All right. Again, Michael Doyle, brand champion, CEO of Brand Iron, found on the web at brandiron.net. Thank you so much, Michael, for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.